Hello everyone. Addiction. Today's topic is addiction. I'll discuss it and say information about it. There are many things people easily become addicted to. One of the most common today is social media, especially Instagram, TikTok, and they offer short videos, reels. These platforms give us many different emotions in a very short time. Maybe our ancestors never consumed as much information in their entire lives as we do just in one day. So I divided addictions by their type. The first one, I call them the first group is content addicts. The first thing they do when they wake up is to check their phones, who texted them, what happened in the world, and what's trending online. Our minds are not designed to process such a huge amount of information, yet we constantly overload our mind with them, with unnecessary content information, and within just 5 minutes we laugh, feel upset, become jealous or irritated. We feel various amount of emotions in a short time, which confuse our mind. The second group is, I call them food addicts. They talk about food, whether they're eating or not. It doesn't matter for them. They think about food when they're working, they're traveling, whatever they do, they think about food. Sometimes they travel to abroad not to discover the culture of the new country or discover new places, but to try new cuisine. For them, food becomes a form of entertainment. They eat not to satisfy their hunger, but satisfy their emotions. They emotionally hunger. And to satisfy our physical hunger, we need just a little amount of food. But to satisfy our emotional hunger, we consume a much more food than we actually need. So third type is game addicts. They spend more time in virtual worlds than in real life. They improve their skills, but only inside the game. In games, it's easy to become a better version of yourself, to complete the mission. Sometimes just in just one day, you can defeat bosses and reach high levels. But in real life, becoming strong, skilled, physically fit takes years of effort. There are many types of addicts, but one thing that unites them is, and what is common, is instant pleasure. They give people, consumers, instant pleasure, and that's the trick. You don't need to wait hours, years, months to see the result. Just one click, one button, and you get what you want. Our minds naturally seek pleasure and are programmed to get as much of it as possible. But our mind is a natural system, and our ancestors were not mm, take as much pleasure as we did today. So we constantly stimulate our mind with fake pleasures, and in natural instant pleasures can distort our minds and break the functionality of our mind. Mm, our mind not always cannot always cannot always distinguish between what is real and what is artificial, fake. So what is a real pleasure? Imagine you trained 4 years straight and you attend Olympic Games. You compete with other competitors and win. So the moment you win, you feel an I can't describe that pleasure. You recall all the difficulties and the struggles you encountered and how you overcome them. Finally, reaching your goals gives you an enormous amount of life energy. That's a real pleasure. The pleasure that comes from a real effort. When you work step by step, slowly and steadily towards a goal, uh, that's when our mind experiences a real satisfaction. Social media often makes everything look easy, but it doesn't show the struggles, the failures, or the long journey behind the success. We usually tend to see the final result, but because of that, it may seem that successful people achieved everything easily. But in reality, when you try to start something yourself, you quickly realize that it's not as easy as it looked. And then you understand why, successful people are successful. One example, a great example of it is Cristiano Ronaldo. He's almost a billionaire, yet he still trains as hard as a young football player trying to prove himself. He could easily relax on a beach for the rest of his life, but instead he chooses to compete, to improve himself, to win, to fight. And his mind works well. He made the right choices, and his pleasures are indescribable. That's why we call him a legend, a living legend. But not all successful people choose long-term pleasures over short-term. Many famous, popular people also have problems with addictions like drug or what else? Weed. But yet they're successful people. So it doesn't work. This logic doesn't apply for everyone. It has exceptions, and these exceptions are very, very two more. That's all for today. It was my 11th speech, and it was about addictions, type of addicts, and how to choose right. Say good, choose good, and all these good intentions.